Today on Your Money, we are tracking net worth, how much wealth the average American has at different stages of life. We're now moving into the 60s. Empower says Americans in their 60s have a median net worth of about $445,000. The Federal Reserve says the median net worth is closer to $365,000. Now, this is very different numbers that we're starting to see a little bit of a different gap there. What is going on in the 60s? This is kind of the retirement decade where people are really starting to prepare for that big life change.
In our early 60s, we're coming up into retirement. So at 62 is the earliest you can collect Social Security. 65 is when Medicare can be filed for. Those are two pretty big pivotal moments in most people's retirement decisions. And then as we get a little bit later into our 60s, we have full retirement age for Social Security, which could be age 66, 67, depending upon when you're born. So there are a lot of milestones going on in this decade. The big decision, again, is going to be around retirement. And it's going to be how much have you saved, what your retirement goals are, do you have health care if you're retiring before 65, how should you claim Social Security. So net worth is going to be a key component of understanding if you can retire, when you can retire, how much you can retire on. So it certainly plays a pivotal role.
And I think some of those numbers look really big, especially for people that are maybe in their 20s, 30s, and 40s and go, wow, am I ever going to get to that point? But, if you're not at that age, you don't have that perspective yet because that's so much more time for your money to grow over time. And also, if you're maybe in your 60s and you're seeing those numbers and going, I can't imagine having that much money. I'm sure there are more people that if they took all of their accounts and their equity in their house and other situations and added it all up, if they don't calculate net worth, they might be closer to that number than they might realize. The initial number might shock them, but when you add everything up, the average person might have a little bit more than they might realize.
Yeah, so this does include home equity. So if you've been living in your home for 20, 30 years, there's definitely going to be some appreciation in there that you can count. Mortgage balances have been paid down, so potentially there's more home equity there. Yes, it's your retirement accounts. Good to note, is it in pre-tax 401k IRA? Is it in tax-free Roth? Is it in a taxable account? So we can make a note around the types of assets we have. And yes, you're absolutely right. It involves all financial accounts. You add them all up together to get to that net worth. One comment to the 20-year-olds watching this. So imagine you're looking at a really large tree and you're holding an acorn and you think, how on earth does this acorn become a tree? And the secret is time. So you bury that acorn, you water it, you treat it right, and over time it grows into that huge tree, and that is exactly how retirement planning works. It may seem really small at first when you put that 10, 20 bucks away and you're saving in that 401k and you see 50 bucks go in. But those little steps are that acorn that does grow into that big tree over time, that does grow into that big retirement portfolio that gets you to those big net worth numbers that we see.